Alright, everybody. How's it going? Grand Ellis here. Um, we have made it to the end of the campaign. I'm going to adjust my camera settings slightly because I'm looking a little bright and shiny on camera. I blend in perfectly with the Carpathian landscape. But this is session 14, which is the final episode of Nice Black Agents, the Dracula Dossier. And we have prepared and planned for what is referred to as a capstone. And we're going to spend this session outlining our goals and see if we can work to achieve those goals. And let's sort of begin with what we've got. First, I'd like to mention that this game is sponsored by Pelgrane Press. We are playing Night Black Agents, which is a vampire spy thriller. And the campaign itself is the Dracula Dossier, which is a highly collaborative improvisational campaign. And our soundtrack is Smoke and Mirrors, which, if you click the links below the video, they will take you out to the website where you can purchase those. If you're on Twitch, they're posted in the chat, as well as there is a voucher code for 20% off all Nice Black Agents products. And let's get on with our prep. So, Dracula's Mill. And we will zoom in so you all can see. Boop. Questions to answer. What is the opposition? What is he opposition? What is the opposition? What are the core clues? Where do they fight Dracula? So, we've got options on the table, and I think we're going to have to get into Adobe Acrobat, which should be open. Ah, there it is. Ta-da! Let's take a look. So we're going to turn to Dracula's Mill in the book. We are scrolling. The text may be small to you right now, but it will grow larger. And we are looking for the capstones, which is going to essentially explain how the campaign ends. Now, I will say, if you do hear my fan on the broadcast, I apologize for that. The real issue is it's very, very, very hot, high temperatures here, and I'm attempting to keep cool. Here we go. So, Zalmoxis Rising, Dracula's Mill. Boop. Alright, so let's see this. They have a Canto 16 from Dante's Inferno. Thus downward from a bank precipitate, we found resounding the dark-tinted water, so that it soon the ear would have offended. I had a cord around me girt, and therewithal I whilom had designed to take the panther with the painted skin. So essentially there's these glacial lakes in the Carpathian region of Romania, and there's going to be a series of ethereal waterfalls that would be known as Dracula's Mill. Let me let the socials know that we are currently prepping. We killin' vampires. That's a good enough tweet. So, our agents have seriously injured Dracula. As you see here, or maybe they just hit Castle Dracula with a brace of Hellfire missiles. So, when last we left off, Lucy Westenra sacrificed herself as Edom came crashing down and launched a volley of ballistic missiles at Dracula's castle, which struck it, which has weakened Dracula. Alright. So, Dracula's going to retreat to the mill. And we know that it is the Morilli Draculae. It is the location where Dracula goes to the heal. That's where Dracula goes to heal. It is an unwholesome and unnatural waterfall. The wind blows colder. Wolves howled in the heights. And so, let's see if we can... They're not currently there, so they're going to need some of this information, so... we'll figure that out, so... Lucy wouldn't know that he's is... I wonder if they're going to bring Orlok with them. If they don't, he's still out there someplace. This is the one we're going to use. We're going to use the Bloody Trail. The Psychic could always show up again. I should have him show up, come stumbling in. They could use him. Use him as the eyes to track it down. We will find the senior park ranger. It's essentially going to be a criminology check, vampirology. So I think the outdoor survival and following the weather patterns is going to help. Make these into... So let's see what the, let's sort of just go through this procedurally, because it's such an important thing. I don't want to skip too fast through things. I just want to figure out, so... Like all NPCs, we're going to set up this guy. The ranger responsible for Kalamani National Park, unwilling participant in conspiracy, guide, and then turncoat in an assault on Dracula's Mills. She can be a turncoat. Mid-40s, official park ranger uniform, silver white hair, pulled back. Yeah. Excellent physical condition. So she grew up in the village near the edge. She joined the Romanian land force at age 16. Trained as a member of the mountain troops. She's definitely opposition. Can't let her be good. So she's one. Let's kind of go through this and see if we can pick up the core clues. First the opposition force. I think knowing what's there is going to help. So we'll go through. So she's not part of Edom. Okay. Let's copy this note. Moves with stiff military precision and when indoors, constantly tight and braided hair. Talks to local wildlife like they can understand her. When Dracula orders trigger in her mind. When she fears for the safety, she speaks more quickly and licks her lips in agitation. She's fairly tough. She's not perfect, but she's pretty strong. All right. And we will save her picture. As we are often, as we are quick to do. Save image. Diana. Count Dracula, despite his immense power, has known defeat. The Draculas have fought against invaders for long centuries, but time and again they have been lost in battle, betrayed, the Count would no doubt say, by the weakness of lesser warriors. The 1894 hunters drove him out of London. Edom thwarted some of his schemes in the 20th century before they succumbed to expediency and corruption. When Dracula discovered or was initiated into the unique strangeness of the mill, he decided to make it his last refuge, a place where he could retreat to when in danger. In order to breach this remote sanctum, the Count's pursuers must first climb a steep mountain cliff along. Reaching the top. Upon reaching the top, his foes next have to lower themselves over a waterfall, then find the mist-shrouded tunnel entrance, finally swim through an underground lake. So this is sort of the sequence. So boom. All right, we can do this. We got this. So I'm just copying this over, just so if I ever get lost, so they have to lower themselves over a waterfall, find a tunnel entrance, and then swim through the lake. We got this. We got this. So now we're getting a better picture of it. So there's going to be clippings and briefings that, there are bodies being found. They lead to a national park. There is a guide there. The guide knows how to get through the park. Then this is part 2. So it's going to kind of be, as we look at the acts, I'm curious who all they're going to bring with them. I wonder if... Whoop. We got this. We got this, fam. All right. Boop. Then we're going to add a little line break. So what I'm trying to do here, the importance of me doing this as part of the prep, is I'm pacing out. I want to see it in my head. So you get to the top, You go down into a waterfall, you find an entrance, you swim through an underground lake, and then there's going to be tunnels and chambers, and then monsters that could fight the players. In hey Arberlin, good to see you in chat. For those of you watching on YouTube, our friends are joining us in the chat room. Yeah, so the next part of this would be to figure out essentially the foe. So, following the leads gleaned through chasing the Count, agents know that Kalimani National Park, once they notice on the map, Dracula's Mill specifically. It is a likely location to find a vulnerable Dracula. Arriving in the area, the agents find roads closed by terrible, sudden, totally unexpected blizzard, even in midsummer, so they're going to be snowed in. So we know how this works. So beats the trail to the park, snow drive through the blizzarded park. Blizzarded should be a verb. Difficulty 5 driving test. They will have a more sophisticated video. On a failure, the agent's car slides off the road and they lose some of their equipment, sustain injury, or just slow down, forcing them to enter the mill at night. Also, the agent sees strange shapes in the haze of the driving snow. Notice hairless panthers creeping through the drifts, loping pallid figures peeking from behind snow-covered trees, and other unsettling vague shapes. That's great. So there's going to be big hairless panthers. It's frightening. We got this, though. We can do this. We will find them. Signs of ominous creatures, and determines whether they arrive at night or during the day. We've got this. All roads lead to the ranger post. So they're going to have their scene with the ranger. And she has a staff. Minister Bella Lepescu is at the lodge. 6 others accompany him. 5 thugs. Flavio Rizika. Confrontation with Lupescu. Wolf! All right. They're going to try to escape via snowmobiles. I don't really see... Like, the players don't know this guy, so I don't see them chasing. So I think I'd rather use the game time to build up towards a confrontation with Dracula and not deal with these thugs. And knowing my characters, or my players, they will murder these guys. Just drop their bodies in the snow. Hello! Good to see you, Springs GM. Yes, you caught us. You caught me prepping the final episode of the Dracula Dossier. We are prepping session 14. And if you're interested in seeing Jim and Prue play on some shows coming up, they are. We have 2 new shows that are in production, and they're going to be very exciting. Jim will be in The Dark Eye, and Pruitt will be in Torg Eternity. But for now, we'll focus on Session 14, the finale of the Dracula Dossier. We are at what's called the capstone, where we are chasing down Dracula, and we are going to finish him off. His castle was recently shot by ballistic missiles, and now the players are moving in to stake him in the heart. Probably ready to make the climb. The fight with the goons might not even be worth doing. We'll see. We'll say optional fight. And then we'll answer one of our questions up here. So let's go minister. Romanian government official. As thugs. So currently, we have 2 points of opposition. 3. Diana and Bella. Keeping track of fictional threats. Things have been sabotaged. She'll follow. That would be wonderful as well. Big fan of that system. I played many games in Cypher system. I really enjoyed playing Breath of the Fall. For those of you watching on YouTube, our chat is talking about the various systems. And it's okay to talk about these. So, Frozen Climb. No trails lead to the top of Morale Draculae. So... the climb. We're just making a note that they have to spend a point in outdoor survival or difficulties will be increased by 2. For those of you learning the system, if you're new and this is your first time watching the stream, you know that difficulties typically go between 2 and 8. And these are numbers we're trying to beat on a 6-sided die. So, it is what it is. Time to put those big general ability pools to the test. So we have a series of struggles. Let us copy them. We could take a screenshot or we could copy paste. Let's do a screenshot because it'll be easier. It'll require less fidgeting. So we've got a screenshot and we'll add this to our prep. So these are different challenges that they'll have when climbing the mountain. I'm adding them to my prep. Largely, well, he's large. Just so I have them in one place when I'm running. I don't have to do as much book searching. A lot more. So these are more group challenges. We will save this image. That way we can use it during the session. I'm going to do these screenshots and then we'll double check some of them. Let's talk through some of these and see which ones are interesting for our players. So those are the group challenges. These are individual. An eagle attacks them. A bolt of lightning stabs out of the storm as if aimed at an agent. Haven't done that in a while. Vertigo. And then there's thugs could show up. That's boring. Dracula might have some commandos. Nails is one of the player characters. It was revealed that Duke Nails is one of the players. Because we had that whole double agent storyline. Rotor blades. A helicopter? Romanian. Goodness gracious. That is... That's great. I love the idea of the helicopter. I need to make a note of some of these challenges. So let's go back to our opposition. So the elements, helicopter, dangerous foe, animal attacks, vertigo. We don't want to reduce this to a bunch of simple roles. I think what we need to do is kind of beat this between character scenes and things going on. Whew. Brides of Dracula. We've had a lot of brides. These are some. Even in the dark, there was a light of some kind, as there ever is over snow, and it seemed as though the snow flurries and the wreaths of mist took the shape of women with trailing garments. The brides of Dracula haven't shown up yet in your campaign. Now's the time for them. Let's see. We have them. It follows most interpretations of the novel, presenting the brides as considerably weaker than Dracula himself. If your campaign brides are closer, the identities of the brides remain mysterious, though they are likely Countess Dolingen of Graz, the Icelandic adaptation, Ida Varkoni. Madame Saint-Amand may have a legacy bride, such as Mina Harker, Carmilla Rojas. or Lucy Westenra. Lucy was already revealed to be a bride. $65. Berniati. Jinclot. Ingui. Lilith. I don't know. So here's the thing. We've used lots of Dracula's brides, but we haven't used these three. So I'm okay if we forego using them. Because having Lucy sacrifice herself is a lot less. Plus we used Renfield's last adventure, and it's hard to top the Arlone versus Ileana bride battle that we already had. But it's good to know that if needed, if things seem boring, I can introduce the brides. Even if they just taunt. The plummeting water. This is the next beat. Oh, let's go down to our beats, not up here. We've been keeping track of the core clues throughout, so... The waterfall, what's next? So, finally the agents reach the top of the plateau, over which the waterfall of Dracula's Mo cascades. Now they must climb along the plateau to the top of the waterfall and descend again. According to Silviassi, there's a cave opening somewhere near the bottom of the first tier of waterfalls. Climbing down is another group test of athletics at difficulty 7. At this point, assuming the director wants to use Silviassi as a foe for the agents, this is where her betrayal begins, so that's better. So... she's gonna want them to get in a precarious situation, then, like, cut the rope. She has a pistol. I want to make sure I understand this position, so... they must climb along the plateau to the top of the waterfall. And then descend. Climbing down is a very difficult test. Down. Silviassi will attempt to slay them tactically. Alright. And just as a matter of, since we have the question here, let's fighting the mill. That's excellent. I appreciate it. Finding the mill. Overcoming Lupescu. Climbing the mountain. Descending the waterfall. I'm rather than call this core clues, we'll call this core challenges. Surviving. Silviasi. There is on WebDM Plays all my prep sessions in the entire campaign, and we are actually going to play a marathon on this channel of all the prep and all the episodes of the entire campaign. It's going to be playing for a while. If you can't make it, you can watch the entire series on YouTube. Our finale is this Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern. So now let's check the rest. The Dark Depths. We find tunnels below. Yeah, we're at the next segue, which is tunnel. So the tunnel from the ledge into the mountain is only just big enough for a normal human to crawl through. It slopes steeply down for 20 meters, and then the tunnel ends at the top of a huge circular cavern, at least 150 meters in diameter. So that's like a football field and a half. It's an underground lake dominating the cavern. No light sources. Dripping of water. Surface of the water is black. There's no telling how deep it is. The lake is still and stagnant. So it's not running water, so it cannot stop a vampire. Interesting. Only running water stops the vampires, and so the lake does not. Okay, then there's going to be guardians. Albino white naked humanoids who swim through the icy waters like cave fish. Three guardians per 2 player characters. So we are not replacing them with Cerniati. That would be poetic. But the Cerniati are these sort of irradiated giants, and they would murder the player characters. Murder them outright. We know this because they fought each other before. All right. I could put some at the bottom. That would be interesting to not have. A callback to the Cerniati could be interesting. Having a Cerniati grab them would be interesting. It would be interesting. All right. And finally, the last tunnel slopes up out of the water and then spirals down, 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 and possibly far down. The air becomes thick and hot, blood hot, hell hot, with sulfurous fumes. The agents seem to hear the grinding of a stone, as if the whole Carpathian mountain range, or maybe even the whole world, rotated around this place. Any watches or electronic devices stop working. From all sides, the agents seem to hear... Okay. All agents feel horribly disconnected, as if detached from normal time and space. That has happened once in the campaign. Right? tunnel ends in a large chamber filled with smoke. The walls, although even gravity seems uncertain here, and everything looks like a precipice down which the agents must crawl head first. Lizard fashion, are hot to the touch. Noxious gases seep from tiny cracks and swirl in strange patterns in the air. Inhaling them may have effects similar to inhaling the gases in the telluric version of the Scholomance. In the middle of the chamber is a small stone table or dais. It will be the stone table, and on that dais is a coffin. And in that coffin lies no one. It's empty. Whew. I tend to prefer GMing, but I pride myself in being a good player as well. For those of you watching on YouTube, chat asking questions. So, do I prefer GMing or playing? I think I prefer GMing because I enjoy the prep. I enjoy designing these productions, all the artwork we see on this. I put together, and I love delivering a very satisfying story to the players. With that said, I really enjoy playing too. I think playing is more stressful for me than running. Okay. He's way weaker than usual and gains 1 die roll of aberrance. That's great. So, Dracula! Strange characters are good. So, let's add Alright, we now know the path of the opposition. Trekking the tunnels. Entering the whirlpool. Really fight Dracula. Whirlpool or the tomb below. They're gonna have to beat him down. No tricks, no retreats. Everything must have made it up the mountain in freezing weather, or survived a fall, or crashed into a mountainside. How well does holy water work when it's frozen? Are those demo charges waterproof? Damaging or disturbing the telluric currents or occult powers of the mill impedes Dracula's resurrection. Anything that blocks vampires might also block his healing. Aberrance gain. The agents could also use explosives or an earthquake device to smash the place, but that could have unexpected side effects. A footstep below means an earth tremor above, so exercise restraint in the use of explosives. If Dracula dies here, the earth quakes one last time, the tunnels above crack and shift, and the underground lake starts to flood into the lower chambers. To escape, the agents need to struggle back up the tunnel as icy water pour past them and burst into steam in the depths far below. If you're feeling like quantifying it, 3 athletic tests, difficulty 8, 7, and 6. Failures, they take damage. Preparedness 6 remembers that they fought to string a lion. Dracula's last lair is forever drowned in the mountains, so that's pretty cool. Now, there's a chance that you can combine Dracula's mill with Dracula's tomb. So let's see this. These are other capstones. So Russian roulette, where Dracula tries to take over Russia. Alright. There was one, and this is the tomb of Dracula. There was one great tomb more lordly than all the rest. Huge it was, and nobly proportioned. On it was but one word, Dracula. Dracula's true death. Interesting. This could be tied to the Dragon Noir. I think it may be under. Where is it? So there's a bunch of places. So Dracula's true tomb is the stone table in the deep cavern. We could use this as true death or rebirth. And so let's double check. Dracula's true death. Only where Dracula first entered, either the sorcerer's connection or the telluric energy. Ledger must be closed at the tomb. It's metaphorical. Dracula's tomb may refer to the place where he was vampirized, not where his human body was stored. I stopped moving for a bit centuries ago. Yeah, I think this is essentially where he's coming to restore. We might not even go this method. I think the whirlpool battle might be enough. It will be in Dracula's mill. And then... he's stronger here. So Dracula will be here. Yeah, I mean, it's essentially on... It's there. I don't think this capstone ends any differently. It's just we have a very dramatic approach. And it's good that we've decided this. And we know he's coming here to replenish and heal up. Yeah, I think what we're going to do is we're going to look at powers from the tomb. They're going to need to block the tomb. I think that's what they have to do. I think it's a puzzle. They either just beat Dracula down, or they destroy the tomb. Cool. Interesting. Yeah, I like this. So, They give you some. I'll explain from the prep. The tomb is useful for rituals. It's useful to buff Dracula, and it's useful for a dramatic ending. So, our players are going to go on this big adventure, this postmodern jungle crawl through Dracula's mill, and find Dracula where he's attempting to restore life. I think in the heat of the moment, while we're actually playing, having the tomb here is good. So I think that's our prep, but I think we're ready for it. And then I think the questions we answer is the wild escape. So let's look at some of these. So Whirlpool fighting Dracula, escape from the mill, and then an epilogue. Wow, this is going to be a dramatic. So let's walk through this. They're going to learn that people are being killed across the Romanian countryside, sucked of their blood. And the result of that is going to be following the trail of destruction. It's going to lead to the Kalamani National Forest. After getting through the blizzard that's there, it's going to be freezing cold. It's going to be awful conditions, even if it's in the middle of summer. Everything leads to the Rangers' outpost. Members of the conspiracy and the government have shut the park down. Getting to the Morale Draculae, the legendary waterfall, requires a guide. There's going to be a devious park ranger, Diana Silviasi, that leads them there. They're going to have to endure hardships. They might get attacked by a helicopter or Dracula's brides. I think the brides are kind of played out. I think having the Rusvari Gigani maybe coming back to help would be a nice touch. And they will kind of combat this helicopter and destroy it or survive it. Then they have to go down the waterfall, and Silviasi is going to attempt to cut the rope, shoot them, and kill them. She's probably going to perish or be incapacitated in the progress. Then they're going to have to go into the dark tunnels deep below the world. There's going to be a massive still lake they must cross. Then there's going to be these fleshy undead servants, or the Cerniati, which were the giants, the irradiated giants. If they try to cross, the Cerniati is going to reach up from underwater and try to grab them and pound them. If I use the Guardians, I'll kind of decide in the moment. The Cerniati might be too tough. Then they're going to come out of the depths, go down even a darker hunter. It's going to get blood hot. They're going to find a stone table, and on it, an empty coffin. And then Dracula's going to materialize out of the mist and battle them to the death. Once they kill Dracula, there will be one final earthquake. Water will begin pouring down. They'll begin to freeze. They'll have to fight their way out. The cave will collapse, and they'll either escape the mill, or they will perish in the process. There will be an epilogue where we will follow each character and find out where they are down the line. And that'll be the conclusion of the campaign, so I'm excited for it. Episode 14 on Saturday. I will probably be streaming episodes on WebDM's Twitch channel tomorrow and Saturday leading up to it, so folks can get caught up on the finale. Very excited to do it. Again, we are running Night's Black Agents, which is a vampire spy thriller game by Pelgrane Press. We appreciate their sponsorship of the show. The campaign is the Dracula Dossier, a highly collaborative improvisational game. And our soundtrack is Dust and Mirrors, which is music by James Simple. And hope to see you all on Saturday. As always, our outro is our intro, and I will see you then. Oh, and before I go, shout out to the cast members who have been so good during this. Pro Restarter, Jess, and Sharung. And if you want 20% off any Night's Black Agents products, I have dropped a voucher code. It's good to August 31st. Any NBA product. So, have a good one, folks. Goodbye.